And hello, my dear fantasistas. It's been some time, and welcome to the first CS2 fantasy event. Um, a lot of interesting things can happen. We have no idea which team's going to perform well and which teams will not. But at this point, what I believe is going to be most likely scenario is that players with best aim will probably do the best. Because from my own experience, if you can click the heads in CS2, that's completely different game. If you're trying to spray or play smart or whatever, just click heads and you win. So I will try to create my team based on that and not really based on what play can go for like multi-frags and all that stuff. Just purely aim, probably. So just looking at the brackets, Vitality versus Bad Boom. Well, we all think that Vitality is number one team and they should easily go through, but it's MR12, if I'm correct, right? CS2, MR12. So is there a possibility that Bad Boom just gonna have a great start on one of the maps and Vitality won't be able to come back? Yes, there is. Does Bad Boom team have some nasty aimers? Yes. Do they give a F about who they play? No, and this probably gonna be the biggest factor of why they can upset Vitality because they really don't care, right? So Chiron doesn't care. Dan is like his first tier one event. Nafani wants to revenge on everyone, and the only way he can get revenge against, let's say, Cloud9 is that if they qualify to the playoffs. Um, Zorte, he already proved himself that he's a great sniper in his previous lineups, and he was always carrying the team. Siren, just a good player, and he's kind of taking some leader roles and some best roles in a team. So it's going to be interesting to watch them. So on the other side, Vitality, with all this crisis that's going on in the world, play is going to be affected 100%. But let's see what it's going to be, especially with the news that Zonic is going to leave. So Magisk potentially can move as well. Like anything can happen. So I won't be surprised if Bad Boom upsets Vitality. So I would give like 35% chance that it's gonna happen, but we'll see. FaZe against Gamer Legion. Gamer Legion with the current changes and hell knows what's happening over there. In my books, they definitely don't qualify through anything to the playoffs. They here just to participate. Mhm. Navi and Apex. Uh, with Apex, it's also kind of weird thing that just happened. I didn't really get the point of benching our friend Stico, but it is what it is. And Navi most likely gonna have an easy walk. So now the champions of the last event in CSGO, Mao's playing Vertex, and again, Mao's are in very good spot right now. Every player on the team is individually strong, and they potentially can be some sort of NIP of CS2. Well, obviously not that extreme, not 87 nil, but um, they can have a good run because Frozen is insane right now. Searching insane. Jimpa is getting there slowly but surely, and Shui like also can go for some good performances. And Tozi, anything can happen with him. So to the semifinals, I think they'll be upset and Bad Boom gonna beat Vitality. Then FaZe gonna advance and FaZe most likely gonna beat Bad Boom. Because at this point, I believe that Robs was investing a lot of time in CS2, finding a lot of different things, and probably they're gonna come up with some pretty neat strats, and maybe they're even gonna use some of them. So for me, FaZe is the first upper final team. Then Navi versus Mouse. Once again, I think Mouse right now will be on really good run, and I'm not sure if they're gonna beat FaZe in the final, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna advance to the final, right? So Mouse FaZe is my final. I had to yawn. Um, Now the lower bracket. Obviously, Vitality gonna destroy Game Legion. And then Vitality will be playing uh, Navi in a lower semifinal, and most likely Navi gonna beat them there, and they're gonna advance to the lower final. On the other side, Apex versus Vertex. Obviously, Apex is gonna take this one, and then they're gonna play Bad Boom, and here I believe Bad Boom can win again, and Bad Boom probably gonna advance to the lower final where they're gonna face Navi, and I don't think they're ready to advance in the playoffs, but there's a slight chance, and because of that, I still gonna put Navi as a team that's gonna advance, but Bad Boom can upset. Um, so that's it. FaZe, Mouse, and Navi are my three teams that are gonna advance from Group A. Now Group B. And Sense. So, Ends playing Lane Vision. Um, I have no idea what's gonna happen with the Israeli players once again. But even with Nets not being himself, and should be beating Lean Vision without really big problem. Now Fnatic versus Cloud9. Even though Fnatic have been on the rise recently, I think they still need at least one change to actually have some sort of competition with tier one teams. Right now they tier two, oh sorry, tier one and a half maybe, where Mezi can go for extreme performance and they can win any game. But then on the average day, they're just gonna get beaten by every other top team. Cloud9. Once again, they moved Hobbit to IGL position. Electronic is playing properly now. Perfecto in clutch positions. Axel kinda anchor-ish, and Shiro being the best player on the lineup. Well, this should be 2-0 for Cloud9. Um, Monte Complexity. Surprisingly, Complexity has been on the rise. Monte, I don't think they're gonna continue their run in CS2 because the game is different. The game is more reliant on the headshot percentages and everything. So I'm not really sure that Monte is really good at headshotting. They were decent in like some other aspects of the game, but headshotting, Demke is okay in that. SDY, not really a great headshotter. Voro, the guy is missing like three shots with open, then he's hitting two. Like you never know which two he's gonna connect and which three he's gonna miss. So uh, I don't think the transition to CS2 is gonna be easy for them. This is why I believe that Complexity is gonna take this one. Um, Grim, Floppy, Floppy has a massive improvement. Grim is underwhelming in my opinion. Halzak, well, most likely he's gonna shine in this event. I hope so. I have some faith in him. And a leech, yeah. So complexity is my winner over here. G2 Greyhound, as always. Nico is probably gonna have his star performance. Uh, However, I think this most likely is going to be time where Hunter and JKA is going to have a better performances. I'm not 100% sure, but that's how it looks for me. And yeah, easy for G2. Then Ants versus Cloud9. Again, I think Cloud9 now have figured out their differences and what wasn't working, and with the right pieces in the right places, I think that Cloud9 is probably going to take this one, and they're going to beat Ants. G2 versus Complexity. Even though Complexity is in a good run, G2 should be coming up to the final. And the final, Cloud9 versus G2, I think that's where the firepower is going to come and play the big difference. Because at this point, the weakness of Cloud9 is probably because they still figuring out, but less rounds to play, so more focus. And Hoxie is still the biggest problem in G2. So I'd say I have more faith in Cloud9 again, even though it's somewhat slightly delusional, I'd say. The 10th team is beating everyone and taking the upper final spot. Yeah, but it is what it is. Now let's drop down to the lower bracket and see what's gonna happen there. Lin Vision versus Fnatic. Obviously, Fnatic is gonna take this one. Then lower semifinals is gonna be Fnatic versus Complexity. Again, 50-50 game, and at this point, we must have like one NA representative, I'd say, and Complexity looks slightly more like a team that will advance rather than go home over there. So just before the event, right? Before event starts, because we haven't seen Fnatic in some time. I'd prefer Fnatic to advance, but at this point, it looks like Complexity is gonna move up to the lower final. And the other side, right? Um, Monte versus Greyhound. Monte is gonna take this one. Then Monte versus Ents. Ents gonna advance, and then Ents gonna go to the lower final where they're gonna play Complexity, and I don't think the Complexity stand any chance against them. So with that said, let's just confirm the teams that I think can advance. Cloud9, G2, Ents. Anyone surprised? Not really. However, there's a good chance that Complexity might squeeze in, and Fnatic might upset someone, but I don't really believe that. So now, with my logic of the best aimers playing the best, and for that reason, uh, once again, I believe that in Group A, in Group A, FaZe is gonna win. And who's the best aim on FaZe? It's either Twist, Robs, or Rain, right? They all great. So Rain for 195, it's just a must-have, right? Now, who's gonna be my second player from the FaZe? Because I kind of need an op, but I don't really need an op because I don't think that op in CS2 is gonna have that much impact unless we're gonna see something unexpected, and on LAN, op is gonna be just a gun they will have to nerf straight away. Uh, who knows? Who knows? With the way CS2 movement works, if let's say Robs figure out some neat tricks or whatever for Brokia to abuse, anything can happen. So at this point, I still gonna go probably with Twist because he's gonna have the peak as advantage and everything like that. Now, do I need an Oppa? Probably I do, but I can't afford Shiro. I can't afford Monacy. I can take Halzork, but do I really think he's gonna be that good? I don't know. But on the other side, we have Bad Boom, which I think potentially can upset and do really well. And Zorte, 203k, as one of the best players on the team. Yes, please sign me up. That's my niche pick. So now let's go down and 394k left, right? Um, Cloud9 is my second team that I believe gonna advance, but who do I think is gonna be D1, D1 and only for 394k? I have to take Hobbit because still anything possible, and Electronic is my second player. This is where I kind of come to collusion with my own thoughts, because probably the best option is to take Axel or uh, oh my god, where is he? Axel or Perfector, but Axel doesn't really get that much action recently in the games, right? So if you look at the matches, 126, well, past few games were actually good for him, but before that he was on kind of downswing. When if we look at Electronic, he's been stable, I think, throughout the whole thing, more or less. Yeah, and he's been performing slightly better than Axel overall. So mm, they changed some positions, but in general, I think it's worth a gamble. And in terms of Hobbit, he's going to be IGLing, so his stats aren't great. He's sacrificing himself, but it's a different game. Hobbit still has a great aim, right? And who knows? Maybe the op is not going to be so reliant, and some of Shiro's skills going to go towards Hobbit. So hopefully they're going to work. In terms of Perfecto, once again, clutch situations in CS2 going to be slightly different than what we used to see in CS. So with that said, am I satisfied completely with my team? I don't know. Is it worth taking Rops over Twists? I don't know. Is it worth trying to fit Brokey instead of Twists? Maybe there's a better chance, and then I can try to switch Electronic for, let's say, Perfecto. But if we look at the stats, 108 on CT, 108. T side Electronic is slightly worse than Perfecto. Um, mm, I know that's kind of questionable, right? Is it worth trying to snitch Robs or Twists in there and play around that 194 and try to sneak another player in? I don't think so. So this is why for me probably is gonna make more sense to take Twist other than Robs and Rain instead of other players, and I'll be left with 203k once again, and that's my Electronic coming in. In terms of other players that are worth trying to pick is obviously Floppy. He's been doing great recently. Um, Mezzi, as always, Fnatic number one player. Uh, in Bedbom lineup, Chiron on Danis. If you're really trying to save some money, Danis might be your player because he can be an X factor. Siren and Chiron are both viable options, but I think that Zorte is going to be the one and only. Um, so yeah, once again, this is my lineup, and my other concern for this is that unfortunately op might be too weak for the CS2 at the point where we are, and they might need to buff it unless unless players figure out how to play on LAN pretty quick and you know is gain, I don't know, a nerf instead of a buff. All right, so that's it for me. Now we just put down the roles and Rain defender. Okay, who did I put as defender? Remove role, Rain Defender. Actually, Rain IGL 2-0, probably 2-0, 2-0, no. Defender, Electronic on this side. Yep, Electronic's gonna be my IGL most likely. Or should I do this? IGL here and Electronic entry fragger. Okay. In terms of boosters, yep. Assists, pistol round for twist, bait for hobbit, Mr. Consistent for Zorte, and Rain. Uh, Probably a nade kill. Let's try this. So yeah, that's it for me. Good luck, have fun, and I'll see you when I see you.